So, for me, the frustrating thing about this case is that although we have got people coming forward and sharing accounts in relation to Lily and Jack, not all of them are being truthful. So it is a challenge trying to figure out what actually happened when basically you're trying to figure out first if the information that's being put out there is truthful. So as you know, there's about an hour and a half's worth of audio from Janie where she was answering questions on Facebook. And that's a lot to work through. So there's a lot of things that come up that I find myself wanting to discuss. And one of the things that I have spoken about in the past is her comment about Justin crying. And it just did not sit right with me at all. It just didn't gel. Not simply because it really didn't sound overly convincing that he was crying just because she was crying, and then she had to tack on the end, but he was also crying because of Jack and Lily. But it was the way she told it as well, the tacking that on the end about, and he was crying because of Jack and Lily, like she suddenly remembered that that's what she's there for. And I'm going to play that clip first and discuss it just a little bit more, and then I'm going to play some audio, a number of clips from Belinda Gray, because that gives us a completely different picture.
And I also want to say, the day that I was crying, that Belinda showed up, Malaya came out and put her head on my shoulder, which it should have been the other way around. And yes, Justin did cry because I was crying, and Justin felt bad for me because I was blaming myself for not getting up and checking on Jack and Lily. That's the reason why Justin was crying, because he was crying because I was crying, and he was also crying because he was upset about Jack and Lily disappearing.
So we've heard that narrative from Janie that no, she wasn't crying about not letting them into her RV. She was crying because she blamed herself. And now she's adding on to it, and she's saying Malaya came out and put her head on her shoulder, which straight up, I'm going to say that sounds like a load of BS. I just want to point out that when Belinda talks about when she got there, that Janie was there with her daughter-in-law, and Malaya was inside, and she was inside with various family members. So it seems utterly unlikely that Malaya is going to leave family members that are inside with her to go out to the driveway to comfort Janie when Janie's already got her daughter-in-law there with her. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Janie's made it pretty damn clear that she did not like Malaya. So I'm guessing it was a two-way thing. So why would Malaya do that with someone that she didn't particularly like? But that's not important for this video. What I'm focusing on is the whole Justin was crying because I was crying. So that's what she's saying here. She's saying she's crying. She makes it clear this occurred the day when Belinda arrived. And she was out in the driveway. She was crying. Belinda saw her crying. And Justin was also crying. And she's saying, she got her words so jumbled. She's like, that's the reason why Justin was crying, was because he was crying because I was crying. And he was also because and you get this long pause while she's thinking about it, and then she's like, another pause, upset, another pause, about Jack and Lily disappearing. It's that classic case of the brain essentially sabotaging the attempts to say a story that's less than truthful. She really, really struggled to get that sentence out, to say that Justin was crying because she was crying and because he was upset about Jack and Lily going missing. It took forever. And just note the structure of the sentence too. It's not a clear-cut sentence. It's like about 20 attempts at the one sentence with so many aborted runs. You know, that's the reason why Justin was crying, because he was crying because I was crying. And he was also because, so she missed out an entire word there. And then she completely loses the fluency there. He was upset about Jack and Lily disappearing. Straight out, I'm going to call BS on this sentence. That is not the reason why Justin was crying. Now, I made a point in one of my videos the other day when I was actually discussing this particular instance. And thankfully, Chelsea Gray made a comment in that video and confirmed that I was right in what I was saying. And that was, I said in that video, I thought that the incident of Justin crying was a different time. And yet here, Janie is making it sound like it happened at the same time. She has specifically said that this is the day that Belinda arrived. Janie was crying because she blamed herself, and Justin was crying because she was crying. There is absolutely no way of mistaking the meaning of what she is saying here. She is establishing that that particular day that Belinda saw her crying in the driveway, Justin was crying at the same time, and he was crying because she was crying. And we know, based on the context, based on what was happening at the time basically, and based on who was with her at the time, that in actual fact, the reason she was crying was because she was getting emotional over the RCMP wanting to search her RV. And her daughter-in-law was telling her it's okay. They don't blame you. They just want to search the RV. But I'm not going to go into that too much because I have covered that in another video. This video is about Justin. So I'm now going to move on to what was said by Belinda about that day and about the following Monday.
I never met Daniel that day. She told me that he was out searching. He's been searching since they've been gone. I did see her mom in the Daniel's mom, sorry. I seen Janie in the driveway. He had another woman with her. I wasn't sure who it was at the time. And I did see Justin outside at the time.
Now I know there's going to be people who argue that Belinda just said that Justin was there with her at the time, so that must be what happened. But what she has said, and what is clarified in the next clip, is that she did see Janie, and she was there with a woman who we later find out is Justin's wife or ex-wife, whatever's going on there. She didn't say Justin was with them. She said he was also outside, meaning he wasn't with them. He was outside. You know, she says, I did see Justin outside. She didn't say, I did see Justin with her, or, and Justin was with her. It is a separate clause completely from what she has said here about seeing Janie outside with another woman. Saying, I did see Justin outside is essentially introducing a whole new paragraph. I saw Janie with another woman, And I also saw Justin outside. Not with anyone, she just saw him outside. That's not hugely important once we listen to later clips anyway. So let's keep going.
I know when we come into the driveway, Janie was sitting on some kind of a bench thing or something in the driveway, and I can't remember who the woman was beside her. There was a policewoman standing there, and the policewoman was talking to them. We couldn't make out what she was saying until we got up closer. And Janie was really crying a lot. And this woman was saying to her, "It's okay, Mom. They're not blaming you. They just want to look in your trailer. They're not blaming you. They just need to make sure that there's nothing in the trailer."
So this is the description of her arriving at the property, seeing Janie crying. There was a woman with her, and there was a police officer. And the woman who was with her, the daughter-in-law, was saying it's okay. They don't blame you. They just want to check in the trailer, which gives us the whole clarification on the issue. She is, at this point in time, she is describing an event. She's not talking about who was where. She's describing an event. So she's describing the people who were part of that. She lists Janie, Janie's daughter-in-law, and the RCMP officer. You will note Justin is absent because he wasn't any part of that event. It's pretty clear from listening to what Belinda is saying that Justin was not a part of what was going on at that point in time. He wasn't involved with Janie being on the driveway crying because she didn't want them to check her RV. So where does this notion of Justin crying come from anyway? Well, I said in a video the other day that I'm pretty certain that it actually occurred at a completely different time. And like I said, thanks to Chelsea, she pointed out, yeah, actually it happened on another day. And in fact, she was there with Belinda and witnessed it. So let's hear Belinda's account of Justin crying.
Sunday, I didn't go searching. That my niece and friends of hers, they're hikers, so they stated they would go for me. So they went Sunday. Then Monday, my sister and I decided, well, we were going to go back. So we had my nephew, and he had a 4-wheel machine because we wanted to take the trails back further towards the pipeline. And like I said, there's trails that go everywhere throughout there. So we started searching right away. And when we were done with that search, I come back out and they stayed out by the road, and I started to walk in because I wanted to let Malaya know that we were searching to see if she had any more information. And that's when I had met Logan. That when I walked into the driveway and I said hi to them, and Justin was really upset. He was crying. Daniel was out talking to reporters at the end of the driveway. And Justin was really, really upset. So right away I was thinking they must have got some kind of bad news.
So this BS story from Janie that Justin was crying because she was crying, and she basically had that all occurring on the first day that Belinda arrived. Well, Belinda is now referring to the third day that she went there, the day when she was told, oh, well, actually, Malaya left on Saturday. And, oh, might be the second day Belinda was there. I don't think that matters too much, but it is not the same day that Janie was on the driveway crying. That was on the first day that Belinda went there. This is the Monday when Belinda went there with her nephew, with his little 4-wheeler, to go searching up around the pipeline. And she is saying she walked up to go and speak to Malaya, and Justin was out on the driveway really upset. You will note there's no mention of Janie there. She's talking about Logan. She's talking about Daniel being down on the road doing an interview. But there's no talk of Janie being there with Justin. Basically, the two incidents are entirely unrelated. Janie was in tears on the Saturday, I believe it was, or the Friday or Saturday, the first time that Belinda went there. Janie was in tears because she didn't want to let the officer from the RCMP look inside her RV. And then on a separate day, Belinda had been out searching. She went to go up and see Malaya at the house, but Malaya wasn't there, which she discovered later. And that's when she witnessed Justin outside crying. Janie's story is complete, utter BS. Clearly, the motivation here is that she is protecting Justin. But my question is, what exactly is she protecting him for? You could say, well, maybe he was upset about something personal. But then why the need to lie and say he was crying because she was crying? You could just say he was crying because of something personal. Or I don't know why he was crying. But instead, she had to make up this BS story. I guess she was hoping that people might not have listened properly to Belinda's story, or that people might not try and clarify with Belinda or Chelsea, and therefore that she would get away with saying this. But why the need to lie? If it was something personal that he was crying over, then there's no reason to lie about it. Justin was upset for personal reasons. It's got nothing to do with Lily and Jack being missing. It's nobody's business. No, instead, she has this BS story. He was crying because I was crying, and I was crying because I blame myself. None of those things are actual truth. Yes, Janie was crying on a different day. Not because she blames herself, but because she was having an argument with an officer from the RCMP. Justin, why was he crying? We don't know. But I would like to know, given that Janie had to lie about it.